Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good evening, good evening. How is everyone doing? Come on in. Come on in. I'm going to give you guys a few seconds to come in. I already see that YouTube comments are already going. One thing about YouTube, y'all don't waste any time. But we are live today. Oh, I'm excited. If you can't tell, I'm very excited. Very excited. Um, but it is a beautiful day. Yes, indeed, Maxa. It is Maxi. It is a beautiful day. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. We are live everywhere. So I will not be missed today. You will not be missed today. So you guys know I love to know who is in my space, who is in my room today. So please let me know where you are joining from. Where are you exactly right now on this beautiful day? I am in the beautiful state of Illinois, city Chicago in the Americas. And yeah, so let me know where you are. I see that Indianapolis is in the building already. We're going to wait for others to join before we get started. Africa is always going to be here. I see Ghana is here. So welcome, Miss Brown. It's good to have you. Awesome. Ohio. Come on in. Southwest Florida is here. I'm so excited. I'm so excited because, guys, you and I can't even say I because I don't talk to myself, but you and I have been here 8 weeks together. Give yourselves a round of applause. You have showed up. I have showed up for 8 weeks straight. And if you've been in this conversation all 8 weeks or just a few of them, then I know that you want to go further. So we're going to talk about what that looks like. So please, if you've been here for 1 week out of the 8 weeks, if you've been here multiple times, let me know in the chat. Say 8 if you've been here for all 8 weeks. If you've been here 5 times, say 5. If this is your first time, say 1. Just give me ones in the chat. Let me see where you guys are in the comment section. I want to know, because if you've just been here 1 time, I know you got something. If you've been here 8 times, I know you've gotten everything. If you've been here 5 times, you've definitely walked away with something that could change your life. So I want to know who has been listening to me ramble on for the last 8 weeks. And we've been talking about clarity. So who do we have in? Good. Okay, Miss Kitty, this is your first time. Then it will not be your last. So welcome. I'm so glad you're here. The Bahamas is in the building. Welcome. We are here. South Africa is here. Washington, D.C. is here. We have a lot of first timers over the last 8 weeks who have been here. So Miss Brown, welcome. Royalty Ambassador, welcome. Miss Johnson, welcome. This is your first time. No problem. You haven't missed anything. And there is still opportunity on the way to get some more of what I got to offer to you. So Tanzania is in the building. Maxie says she's been here for 5 weeks, 5 times. Awesome. Tanzania, this is your second time. Isaac, welcome back. Welcome back. Tonight, I'm not going to be long. You guys know I don't like to keep you long. These are going to be very short, but I'm always going to be strong. We've been having the conversation about clarity for these 8 weeks, and it's been such a beautiful conversation. I've been enjoying it. So if you've been here 1 time, it's a few of them, it's your first time or every time. Before we go any further, I want to say something because it's been a series essentially, and something in you clearly responded to the series, not by accident, because if you're still here 5 times, Maxie, Isaac, this is your second time, then clearly there's something in this series that I've been talking about, clarity, has you showing up again. So you haven't been here by accident, and not even just curiosity. Maybe you're curious, but not curiosity alone. Maybe you're just a leader or someone who, if you've stayed in the conversation this long, then you recognize that there's something in it for you. And that recognition is in my experience anyway, when you recognize something, it's always accurate. Okay. So I want to thank you all who have been here for 8 weeks for coming back. If you've been here 5 times, 2 times, this is your first time, I want to say thank you for coming. I want to welcome you back. And so this conversation that we've been having, if this conversation has been true for you on clarity, on stuck. And I'm going to talk about kind of what we've been talking about over the past 7-8 weeks, but it hasn't been a coincidence. And so this is the part of you that has been waiting to be addressed. If you noticed something last week, if you noticed something in week 2 and week 1 that, wow, she's speaking to me, that's the part of you that's been waiting to be addressed. And hopefully I've been addressing it over the last 8 weeks. So tonight, I know, tonight is our final live of this series. This is not our final live, but this is our final live of this series because y'all ain't gonna get rid of me. I'm gonna be coming back and I'm gonna be sharing whatever it is that's on my heart, whatever, especially whatever God places on my heart for you. We'll be doing more of these, but in this particular series, this is the final live. And this particular live, we're gonna have 2 parts, okay? So the first half, I'm gonna talk about the journey that I've brought everybody on for the last 8 weeks. And then the second half, we're going to talk about your decision, not the decision, but we're going to talk about your decision. Okay. So, excuse me. So allow me to close the series the way it deserves, because it deserves to be closed a certain way. And I'm not going to do a major summary, but I want to close with a precise accounting of what's been happening here in this space every Tuesday. Okay. So if you remember, if you've been here from week 1, say week 1 in the comments. If you've been here from week 1, say week 1. Week 1 is where we describe what stuckness actually is, like what being stuck. When you say I'm stuck, I feel stuck, we describe what that was. We described it as not being a character flaw. It is not a motivation problem. It's not even a season that you're surviving. But when you say I'm stuck, when you feel stuck, it's actually a signal. It's a signal that's carrying information about a specific disruption, or there's something out of alignment in a specific dimension of your leadership or your life. So that's what stuck is. That's what we talked about stuck is. So I don't look at stuck as a place where I can't get out of. I just look at it as, there's some blinking lights going on. There's signal. What is it that needs to be addressed? So you're really not stuck. You learned, if you've been here since day 1, you've learned that you are just signaling. Your life is signaling something to you that something is wrong. Your leadership is blinking and saying, hey, I need some attention over here. Okay. That was week 1. Week 2 and week 3, we counted the cost, because when we stay stuck for too long, there's a cost to be counted. There's a cost that we have to think about. There's a cost that we're paying. Okay. When we stay stuck for too long, when we stay out of alignment for too long, and there's a cost when we lead without clarity for too long. So when it's always raining for too long, there's going to be a cost. When you are living in fog for too long, there's always going to be a cost. And we talked about 4 costs. These were the costs that I was paying when I was kind of out of alignment, and when I was a little unclear. This was the cost that I was paying. Confidence, I was faking it. Relationships, revenue, I was losing money, and direction. I didn't know if I was going in the right direction, and therefore I wasn't making a move. So confidence, relationships, revenue, and direction. Those were the areas that you pay costs that are high in cost when you are out of clarity. We talked about that in week 2 and week 3. And then we talked about the cost of busyness. So sometimes we kind of think that if we're busy, we're doing something. If we're busy, we're moving forward. If we're busy, we have momentum. But then we learned that when you get busy, you're just substituting that for direction, because your calendar is always full. So you feel you're doing good, you're doing something, but yet that true question stays quiet. And so in week 4 and week 5, if you've been here, and I promise you the replay to these are on YouTube. You can catch them all on YouTube in the live section of my channel. So please make sure you go and watch it. If you hear something that be like, oh, I missed that, I want to get that, go to YouTube. Okay. Week 4 and week 5, we located the disruption that is going on in your leadership or your life. And when I say located, we found out exactly where your pain point is. Remember, we talked about going to the doctor, and you tell the doctor you have a pain or something is hurting you. And the doctor, the first thing he's going to ask you is, where does it hurt? You have to be able to know, where are you out of alignment? Where are you misaligned? Where are you foggy? Where are you stuck? So we located that in 4 and 5. And there are 3 areas where you can be stuck. Identity, who you are; assignment, what is yours to carry; and responsibility, how are you carrying it? Those three areas. And so a lot of you put in the comments, hey, I'm out of alignment with identity. I'm unclear on my assignment. Maybe I'm carrying more than I'm supposed to, my responsibility. So we didn't just do a general sense of, I feel off. No. By week 4 and week 5, you were able to pinpoint a precise address where there is some disruption. And we described that decision that will not move. So sometimes we have decisions that we have to make, and we're figuring out, man, I really don't have the focus. I don't have the clarity. I don't have the bandwidth to really make this decision. And so we don't make a move. And we're not avoiding. What happened is we're out of alignment in our identity, assignment, or responsibility, that the fog is still very much there. And fog or not having clarity is a natural product of misalignment. Okay? When you want clarity is a natural product of alignment. So when you align your identity and you align your assignment and you align your responsibility, when you align who you are and you know whose you are, when you align what is your purpose and what is your calling, and when you carry that in the way that you're supposed to, that is alignment. When you get alignment, the clarity that you get, I mean, it's almost as though it's restored instantly. And that's what we did all the way up to week 5. And then week 6 and week 7, we described the level where your problem lives. And we talked about the experience of what clarity restored actually feels like. So I gave you and I shared with you what it feels like when you have clarity. And I'm talking about when it's been restored. Remember, clarity isn't something that goes away, or it isn't something that you have to go and find. You've had it before. It just got tainted. And so we talked about some of the things that show up automatically and the experience you feel when you are a lot more clear, when the fog is gone and when the rain is gone. And we didn't talk about it as a concept. We actually talked about it as something you can actually touch and live. So decisions form clearly. That's one feeling that you get. Energy. You get decisions you're able to make clearly. Your energy returns. You're able to actually be present in a room and not just perform. Like your presence is actually there, and your direction, your next move is visible. That is the benefit of clarity. That is what clarity feels like when you have it. You can make decisions clearly and quickly. You have more energy. And I'm not talking about just, I can go and run. No, I'm talking about you have so much discipline, motivation, and empowerment that you are wondering, man, how am I doing this even though I may be tired? That's the energy I'm talking about. And then there's presence. You're able to get your presence back. So you're not faking when you show up in a room. You're actually presenced to that room. And then your next move, your direction. That's all a benefit. That's the experience of restored clarity. And then you get to see a version of yourself that you actually recognize, not one that you don't recognize. Because, like I said, clarity is not something that you didn't have before. You've experienced clarity throughout your life. But maybe you're in a moment or a season where the fog is back, it's raining, I don't really like it. Okay. And now this is week 8. So that has been 8 weeks. And here we are. And here we are standing. Here you are. And the fact that the one thing I know about the fact that you're still standing is there is still all that's waiting for you on the other side of that. So now you have the language, whether this is your first time or whether this is your 8th time or your 5th time being into these lives, you have the language, you have the framework now, and you have been able to identify the dimension, whether it's your identity you have to work on, your assignment, or your responsibility. What you do not have, and I haven't given that yet, what you do not have is a restoration. Now you're saying, now you know where the problem lies. Now you know what the problem is. Now we're just waiting on, or you're just waiting on, okay, so let's work on that now that we've dealt with that. Charissa, I'm ready. You're saying to you and you're saying to me, I'm ready for the restoration. So essentially, you've done the work of identifying the problem. And I mean with precision. You know exactly what the problem is, you know where it is. Now you want the restoration. So April 25th is where we do the work. You and I are going to do the work of addressing it and restoring clarity. So you're probably asking, Tristan, what's happening on April 25th? I'm so happy you asked. If this is your first time, let me share. If you've been around, let me explain to you what that is. So, you know, I like to describe April 25th because we have been gearing up to April 25th, the Empowered Living Summit, clarity restored in your leadership and your life. That's the main event. So week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6, those have been all preliminary. So if you watch UFC, anybody here watches UFC fights? UFC. If you do, just put in the chat. It doesn't really matter. But I watch, my husband loves to watch MMA and UFC fights. And so I've been to a few UFC games. I watch it on TV. And those fights the entire program on any given day can last for about 4 to 5 hours, right? And they have all of these preliminary fights. So they may have about 10 preliminary fights that may start at, let's say, 5 o'clock. Okay. You have these, what I'm going to call small fights. But then everyone is gearing up. Everybody, the audience is waiting for the main event, what they call the main event. The main event probably may last about maybe 30 minutes, maybe. Sometimes it could be a second, depending on how good the fighter is, and there's a TKO right away. But the main event can happen at 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock Eastern, Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. That's the main event. People stay up for the main event. People watch all the preliminaries because they want to get to the main event. So, say all that to say, April 25th is the main event, the Empowered Living Summit. It's going to be a couple of hours. It's going to be a live Zoom event, virtual, no replay. It's not going to be a webinar where you just get to consume information and then you go off later to answer questions. It's going to be a room. It's going to be a working room where you and I get to work together to make the soul decision. And I'm not talking the SOLE decision, SOUL. It's going to be a decision made from your soul for your soul in real time in the room. And we're going to apply that decision to your specific leadership context. Okay. So it's not going to be a decision that I make. I'm not going to make a decision for you. You are going to make the decision for you where you are based on your pain point and based on your pain location. Okay, so that is what the main event is all about. I'm so excited. And so when you leave from the main event on April 25th, which is this Saturday coming, you're going to leave knowing exactly where clarity broke down for you in your leadership and in your life. And I'm not talking in general terms. Like, you're going to be able to again go over the specific dimension that has been costing you your confidence, your relationships, your revenue, and your direction. All right. And then you're going to leave with the first move. So when you walk away on Saturday, you're going to have the number one first move that you need to make towards restoring your clarity. That is going to be the work that you do. I'm just going to be there on the side, cheering you on, supporting you, and giving you a little guidance. But you are going to actually leave. Promise you, you're going to leave knowing, I know exactly what I need to do Sunday morning, because we're not even going to wait until Monday. I know exactly what I need to do on Sunday morning. Okay, so we're not going to just apply theory, and we're not going to just do a hypothetical leader, because you're not hypothetical. All of you on this live exist. You're a live, living, breathing human being who hopefully will be in that room. And we are going to actually go over and look over your specific area. It's going to be applied to you. Okay. So this is going to be the difference between a webinar and this. I'm not just going to create what I'm going to create and then tell you what you're going to do. No, this is going to be what you say. Charissa, I'm having an issue identity. Someone says mine is assignment. Someone else says mine is responsibility. Then good. Let's get those aligned based on who you are. And then let's get your clarity restored. So it's going to be that granular. All right. And I want to speak to two leaders who are still in this room. So I see all of you. If you see me looking over here, I'm looking at YouTube, but over here we got Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. But in this entire space right now, there are two type of leaders. Okay. Because the main event is coming. The main event is happening with or without you. What I don't want is for you to not miss the main event. I don't want you to have watched all the preliminary and then you miss the event. So there are two type of leaders in this room right now. We have the first leader who is weighing the investment, $97, plain and simple. The main event is going to cost $97, and that's general admission. You're weighing the investment. And let me put that in context for you, right? So one delayed decision is going to cost you more than $97. 1 month of forcing momentum through a clarity problem is going to cost you more than $97. One more session leading without clarity is going to cost you more than $97. The question is not whether you can afford this main event. The question is whether you can afford to keep not doing it and to keep paying the cost that you've been paying in your confidence, in your relationships, in your direction, and in your revenue. So it's really not about money. The question is, can I continue to stay in the position that I'm in? Can I stay out in the rain? Can I continue to be unclear? Should I stay stuck? That's costing too much. And then that's one leader, one type of leader who is listening to me right now. And then there is a second type of leader right now who, and this has nothing to do with money. That second leader is one who has been in this conversation for 2 times, Maxie, like 5 times, Isaac, like 3 times. You've been here and you have quietly convinced yourself, that's main event is for someone else. You resonated with everything I said. You walked away with something that changed your life. You even recognized yourself in every session. You dropped your dimension in the chat. When I said to you, drop the dimension of alignment where you're stuck. And some of you said responsibility. Some of you put assignment. Some of you put identity. You put it in the chat. Some of you even watched the replay. You've watched the replay. You've shared it. But you are the leader that's told yourself, I'll get it next time. Or I'll get it another season. But yet you have been in this conversation for 8 weeks and you are still here. That is not an observation. That is a response. And that is a response that you have been giving that is already telling you, not me, it is telling you what you already know. So decide which leader you are. Are you the leader who is asking, is it for me? Maybe it's for somebody else? Or are you that leader that's kind of wondering, $97, is it worth it? Well, is it worth you staying the way you are? So I have a final invitation because I would be remiss to not make sure that we are all at the main event. I wish I can do the voice of the commentator or the MC, if you will. There's a particular line that he uses. Welcome to the main event. Well, he doesn't do it that way. But anyway, that was my rendition of it. But the main event is happening Saturday, $97, April 25th. 10 o'clock a.m. we are starting sharp. That's 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, a.m., 10 o'clock Central. It's via Zoom, so registration is required. So don't think it's not going to be on this platform like we've been showing up live. It is going to be via Zoom. That means you do have to register. When you register, then you will get the Zoom link immediately after you register. So it'll be there for you to get on Saturday. No replay. There won't be any replay. So all of these preliminary events are replay, but this main event is so main event. what is going to happen is going to be in the room. So there's no replay for the main event, but the Empowered Living Summit, Clarity Restored in Leadership and Life. The link is in my bio. Depending on where you are, it's in my bio on Instagram, Facebook. I'm also going to put the link in the chat right now so that you can have it. It's charissamonroe.com/Clarity Summit. There's also a, right here somewhere, is a QR code on the screen it's to my left. So hopefully it's to everybody's left where you're looking at. You can also use another device and get the link there as well. But it's charissamonroe.com/Clarity Summit. $97 for general admission, and then $147 if you want to upgrade to VIP. Now, VIP is even more, not intense, but I'm really more excited about that because VIP, we meet for an hour after the summit. The summit is maybe about 2 hours, maybe. And then after that, I have a small group of VIP individuals who are going to meet with me personally, and we are going to get to have a conversation. You're going to get to ask questions. I'm going to give you strategic, direct responses, and we're going to work through whatever it is that you need to work through. I'm not going to take if any questions at all during the general admission or the general summit itself, but VIP is also where it's going to be at, and that is $147 per person. But I am excited for the main event. So if you are going to be attending the main event, if you're interested, I will answer some questions as well. Put it in the chat. Maxie says, whoop. It is going to be exciting. It is going to be exciting. And this is just summit number 2. I think I may have 2 more of these coming. I am looking forward to it. But this one is all about restoring your clarity. So let me get the link in the chat. Okay, so the link is in the chat. I am going to also make sure that I share it on screen so you guys can have it. www.charissamonroe.com/Clarity Summit. That is the website where you register. Okay. And I'm looking forward to all of you being in the room. Because one thing I know is we've come to this point, but you still need space now to have that restoration that we've been talking about occur. And that isn't going to just drop into your lap. There is some intentionality that needs to come up, that needs to happen with it. Okay. I want to look at my comments to make sure that, oh no, what happened? Can you guys see? Okay, you can see it on the screen. Okay, good. Exciting. So I will stay on a little later to ask some questions, but let's close this series, right? This is going to be our last series on our last live on clarity for the moment anyway. Like I said, you guys are not going to lose me. I will be back, but I want to close the series with the thing that I delivered from the beginning. Okay. And we know, and I said it before, clarity doesn't just arrive while you're deciding whether or not you're going to pursue it. So it doesn't just come when if I decide, okay, maybe I'll do it. No, it actually arrives when you step into the room. You actually step into the room, or you step into the space where it actually gets restored. And so I have built that room where you get to step into on April 25th. And so we're going to walk away. Like I said, you're going to have one move that you're going to make that is going to restore the clarity that you've been missing out all this time. Okay. How y'all feeling? 8 weeks, 8 conversations, and there's been one question running through all of them. And I want to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a question. If you can, answer this question in the comment section, answer this question in the chat. This is the one question that's been kind of going through all of these lives for the last 8 weeks. What would become possible in your leadership and your life? Look at both. What could become possible in your leadership and your life if your clarity was fully restored today? And it could be one word. It could be a phrase, whatever that is for you. If your clarity was restored right now, right here, in this moment, what would be come possible in your leadership and in your life? And I'm excited to read these because I know for me, at the time when, if I was to answer this question, well, let me answer it in past. When I scales left my eyes, the rain is gone, I'm no longer foggy, and there was clarity, the one thing that showed up for me truly was the direction that I needed to go in. Because I was really wondering, is this the direction I'm supposed to be going in? And is it for me? And it became, when I say it literally became so clear, when the song says, I can see clearly now the rain is gone, the possibilities of being able to see my next move, but also see the obstacle that was essentially going to be there to stumble me, and I was able to then do something about it. That was my possibility. KB says, Godfidence restored. Yes. What is the and that is the question. The question is, what are the possibilities that in your leadership and your life, that if clarity was fully restored today, would be there for you? What would become possible? And guys, please make the sky your floor. If you hear nothing else I say, what would become possible in your leadership and your life if your clarity was fully restored right now? And you already know the answer. All of you know the answer. You have desires, you have dreams, you have visions, so you know what the possibilities are. What in your life? Maxie says, why me? What are the possibilities in your life that if clarity was restored would be possible? Awesome. I love it. Yes. So that is the question that essentially we've been asking. And that is a question that gets to be answered and actually felt at the main event on April 25th, which is this Saturday. So essentially, today is Tuesday. 4 days. 4 days. Don't forget, website is in the comment section. Website is on the screen itself right now. This is where you register. Registration is required. It's going to be via Zoom. So anything's possible. In your leadership and your life, when your clarity is restored, a lot can be possible. And it's the only question remaining is, are you going to step into that possibility? Are you going to step into a room where that can actually happen? Because then you have all these possibilities. So the possibility for you could be, you'll be the next best Martin Luther King. The next possibility for you would be, you'll be the first person to ever graduate university in your family. The next possibility for you could be, I'll get up out of bed. Like something as simple as that. That could be possible in your leadership or in your life if your clarity was restored. And the only then question I have for you is, are you willing, are you going to step into a room that will actually make that possibility a reality? Because clarity does not arrive while you are just deciding or thinking whether you're going to pursue it. It arrives when you step into the room where it actually gets restored. And that is April 25th, the Empowered Living Summit, Clarity Restored in Leadership and Life. That's this coming Saturday. All links are in the bio. Links are also on the screen. Links are in the comment section. Links are also in the QR code above the screen, charissamonroe.com/clarity summit. Okay. I do have a few moments, so I want to stay as long as I want, as long as you would have me, and I will answer some questions. Any questions that you have about the main event coming up, any questions you have about the last few weeks that we've been together. I want to be like my grandmother, consistency. Absolutely. And these things are very much, very possible. What is it about me? Why the visions of stuff won't stop showing up? We will always have visions. That is probably one of the ways that God shows us what it is that He purposed us to do. And so, if anything, I don't want to even wonder why my visions won't stop. I think my next question would be, what can I do with this vision? And how can I actually bring this vision to pass? That's a better question, Maxie. Okay. So if you're just joining, we are closing out our 8-week session or 8-week series on clarity. And we are gearing up for the main event, the Empowered Living Summit, on this Saturday, April 25th, 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time via Zoom. So you must register. It's $97 for general admission, $147 for VIP. VIP comes with a guide and a workbook. General admission does not. VIP, you get 1 hour after the summit with me, and we actually get to do work individually. I hone in on you. You get to ask questions. I get to answer your questions very direct. There are no Q&As in the general admission, but we are going to have a good time in both sessions. You will walk away. You will walk away knowing what's your next move to restoring your clarity in your leadership and your life. So any questions? Looking forward. So this has been good. Have you guys been enjoying this? I have been enjoying these so much. I've been enjoying. I want to say again, thank you all for being here. As you go through life, make sure that you are always leading longer. Your leadership is so important. You're living deeper. It's all about purpose. And you're leaving more. Legacy. Legacy is what you should be always crafting in every decision you make and everything that you do. Any questions? And if there are no questions, I won't hold you. We have had a good time together. I look forward. Links are in my bio. Links are on the screen. Looking forward to your registration. You can register all the way up to Saturday morning, right before doors close at 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock Eastern on Saturday. We're not accepting any more registrations after that. Maureen, thank you. Thank you so very much. Appreciate the support. Thank you for being here. Pastor Chai, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. I love you guys' comments. Keep them coming. I beg you. Keep those coming. It's my first time from South Africa. Well, welcome. Like I said, the replay for all 8 of the weeks are available on YouTube. So you get to watch the replay of all of these lives, all the preliminary lives. There won't be a replay for the summit itself, the main event. That is prestigious to those in the room because we're going to get some work done in the room. So you want to make sure that you are there. Edward, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate you for being here. Maxie, thank you. Absolutely. I love doing this work. I love sharing what it is that God would have me to serve. I love serving my community. And so this is why I do what I do. And I will always do it. If I'm talking to 1 or if I'm talking to 100, it is always going to be top tier just for you. Like, I come here every week, Maxie, for you. You've been here every week. And I hope that you have gotten all that you need. All right. Please, guys, have a wonderful rest of your evening, rest of your day. Don't forget to register. Don't wait. Now is the time to make that move. It is costing you every second. If you're not going to be in that room, it is costing you your relationships. It is costing you your confidence. It is costing you your direction. And it is costing you revenue. It is costing you money, more money than $97. And so go ahead and do what you need to do. New Zealand doesn't know what God has planned for us. No, it does not. But you just wait. I look forward to seeing you there. Okay, guys, have a wonderful evening and see you Saturday.